buckets, and then we had a person called Freeman, who was like the best person in the world. He'd take all this stuff and ship it out, and there's the gold. There's the gold. Then they take the black, I can't remember, we call it something, I don't know what we call it, black dirt or whatever, and we put it over here, and we put it in a shed. And I went, I know if we had a real system, that there's a ton of gold in that shed. And I mean, it was just packed. I mean, it's probably $1 million worth of gold just in that thing alone. But there's just one thing I thought about. But Freeman did his job, and we did this, and it's working, and whatever. But we bought $500,000 back then, in '85, or we bought a $500,000 dredge called the Nessie. Totally automated. I'm sitting in a cabin with my hands. I'm bringing the hose up. I'm going like this. It's got a trailer on the back. As the stuff comes up, instead of just going like this, it goes into these spinning wheels, and it spins all the gold out and goes into the, so very sophisticated, very cool. And that was my job to get this thing going. But in the meantime, we're still trying to make money every day. And I'm doing something, I hear somebody yelling, I look up, and one of our dredges, nobody's on it, is floating down the river. Now these are making us money every day. And I go, and they don't know what to do. And I see it, and I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I chase it, and it gets close enough to the land that I jump from the land onto the boat, and it's picking up speed. It's going down the river. And I go, okay, now what do I do? Well, here's a rope. Well, nobody's running. Nobody can even run that fast alongside me, so I can throw the rope to it. And I'm going, well, this isn't helping me. How do I don't know what to do. I don't know how to kind of throw it around something and hopefully do something. Just had to, I was stuck on this raft going down the thing, and we were headed for some falls that were coming up, of course, right? And here's, all I can tell you is this, I don't remember. I think I threw it around a tree in a cot, and I pulled myself to the side. All I know is at that point I was so afraid that I was going to die that I did something, and I got it to the side, but I never should have jumped on it in the first place. So that was just my lesson. And I don't remember, because I thought, well, I can solve any problem. Let me get on the thing, and that's all I can remember. I must have thrown around something, and who knows, and it doesn't really matter. I'm here, and so back to Nessie, which was the one that did come in. It was my job to make a spot for it, and so I think I brought up Snake Man before. This is where he is the best person with a chainsaw in all of Liberia, as far as we know. And he could cut a tree and make it fall exactly where you want it to go and do all this stuff. Oh, great. That's who we need. But he was arrogant, he was whatever he was, and everybody hated him. Well, the problem was, they call him Snake Man because, I think I brought this up, he was known to kill people with snakes. People would hire him. Hey, I don't like this guy. Oh, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. They find a snake in their bed, and I'm going, oh, geez, okay, now I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking of that, right? Whatever. But he did a great job. We did all these things. We finally brought Nessie in, and to get in, he had to cut a path. But the problem is we had to get Nessie now out of the river and up onto where we could work on it, right? And put everything really back into the place it's supposed to be. But it did work. And so we put a hose in, and I made a palava hut, which I have a picture of. I'm standing in front of it with my machete. And we had the materials to put cement together. So I wanted to make a cement floor. I had to have something that was solid, not a dirt floor. Okay, let's do that. So we put the hose in the river, turned the motors on. We started bringing the sand up from the bottom. And we did this. Well, it turns out, you could see when we did it, there was gold everywhere. The whole floor was streaks with gold. I mean, you could scrape off gold in your hand. There was so much gold in the river we were in. And I said, well, you know what? Hey, we're going to get more gold, but I mean, wow. If I ever need to, I can just come back and take this one floor and retire right here if I want to. But it comes into, now we got to bring the Nessie out of the river. And there was a tree in the way. And I had to get Snake Man. I said, Snake Man, what do you think? He goes, oh, yeah, I'll just have it drop right over here. I go, I've seen you do some stuff, and you are great at what you do. But if you make a mistake and it falls and hits this $500,000 dredge, that would be terrible. And so let me just think, do we have to do this? Do we really have to? Yeah, we pretty much have to come up here if we we're going to do this. Okay. Anyway, so you got to make some decisions. He goes over there and he starts to cut it, and you see him kind of going, oh, my machine isn't working. Or whatever. I'm going, oh, no. He does something else. He just seems to be not as focused as I'd like him to be. Anyway, he cuts this thing, he drops it away from the thing, didn't harm the dredge. We bought the dredge up, we did this and that, and so now it's our job to make some more roads out to these other places where that chief had, here's some cola nuts, let's come here next. But you can't get there unless you make a road. So I got this person doing this. Everybody that worked with me basically said, if you don't get rid of Snake Man, nobody's going to work for you. Nobody as in, there's nobody else except for who I got, right? And so that ends our contract, or that we can't do anything really at that point. And they're telling me what they're saying. I said, no, I see that. He's a dangerous person. And they go, yeah, we know. Now, I can't remember. I'm going to tell you about it anyway. I think I listened back. I didn't hear it. About two-step, where he's good at what he does. And he has these snakes. He's got all these snakes. There's a snake this long, and they call it two-step because that means if it bites you, they say you can take 2 steps and you fall dead. I mean, you're actually dead. You're not suffering. You die immediately after 2 steps. And he comes to me and goes, hey, I want to show you my 2-step snake. I go, well, that's cool, right? Thanks. This is before I fired him, obviously. But I'm just, being friends, and wow. He says, let me show you something. And the thing's little snakes moving around, doing whatever snakes do. He reaches into his little pouch and goes like that, some dust on top of the snake. And pretty soon the snake's slowing down. And then he goes, watch. And he reaches in, he pets the snake. And the snake kind of goes, huh? What's that? He said, the snake's basically asleep, but it's not asleep because he looked up when he did that. He says, pet the snake. Huh? Why? Because it's just because it's cool to pet that snake. I go, yeah, pet it again. And so he pets it again. I go, well, it really does look lethargic, but what am I risking if somehow it doesn't bite him because he likes him and he's going to bite me? It doesn't matter. So I go, but I'm thinking I'd love to tell the story that I pet two-step or whatever. So I go over, bend over, and I start to reach my hand, and the snake's not moving. It's like I'm going, yeah, I think it's asleep completely, right? Whatever he's put on it. I go in, and I bring my hand down, and I get about this far away from the snake. I go, this doesn't make sense. I mean, I would love to tell the story that, wow, you're an adventurer, you did this, did you pet the snake? Oh yeah, I pet that snake. No, I didn't pet that snake. I'm glad I didn't. It never did anything to make me nervous, except for if I'm wrong, I'm dead. And that was just too big of a lot of stuff I do is if I'm wrong, I'm injured, or I don't think I'm dead all the time. I'm dead on this one. So I did not pet that snake. And I don't look back going, oh, I wish I could tell that story that I petted this thing, was brave enough. Yeah, I don't think that's brave. That's called stupid, I think, or whatever. But I mean, I'm glad I didn't do it. So I had to fire Snake Man, and I told him, I said, everybody, you rub them the wrong way. I don't know how I said it. And he looks at me and goes, this is not a good decision you're making. I go, I know you're a great, built from, you're the best, you not dropped that tree, you did all this stuff. I said, I like you working for me, but I won't have a crew, I won't have anybody. I said, I just hope you understand, I'll give you some extra money to help you get going or doing something like that. And he kind of looks at me and goes, I kill people with snakes. I don't know if he said that, but I did know that, right? All I know is this. He agreed. I don't know if I gave him, I'm sure I gave him some money. Hey, listen, I don't want you to be out of work. I want you to have some money. Let me give you, who knows what I gave him. I gave him whatever he wanted, and probably more than that. And then he left. But everybody said, oh yeah, he's still around. So he's gone, but he's still around. Yeah, okay. So at any moment, I could wake up with a snake in my bed, I guess, and so that was just adding to all my fears that I have. The baby elephant. So, first off, somebody comes to me with a little deer. A little deer about this big. It was a baby deer. And they want to give it to me. Well, I don't need a deer. I mean, oh, no. You have to, this is from the whole town or something. I'm going, oh, not this again. Okay. What does it eat? Easy to feed. Here's a cage for it right here. Put him in the cage and he'll be fine. So I put him in the cage and then I take him out. Now I've got a compound that's fenced in. And it's a small little deer. And I take it out and I'm thinking, let me be, I like animals. Let him kind of feed on some real grass or something. Thing's gone in a second. He's running over here, running over there, running over there, running over there. I go, catch it. Well, hey, you, catch that deer, because I had to put him back in the cage, right? Everybody's running, nobody can catch it. Running. I don't remember if I caught it. I don't remember how we got it, but somebody got it. I got it back and put it in the cage, right? And I wrote a thing home to Frederica, hey, I got a deer that's part of our family now, and it's called Catch It. We named it Catch It because that was what we kept saying. We kept calling it Catch It because we had to catch it. Every time it got out or whatever, you got to catch that deer. But anyway, so that's the Catch It story. The elephant story is that I took Sundays off, whatever that means. You never had a day off, but I took it off, and people are banging on my fence or whatever, and I want to come in. No, I don't want anybody in here. And so a little while later, I come out, and somebody comes to the gate and goes, hey, somebody wants to sell you an elephant. I go, what are you talking about? Yeah, they have a baby elephant. I go, okay, well, that's one of my dreams. I put that on my list somewhere when I was a little boy or something. I would like a baby elephant. That would be cool. Where is it? Oh, they already left. They're already heading down the road to sell the little baby elephant. They want to sell it to you first. I go, oh my God. I've got an enclosed area. I could have a baby elephant. I mean, whatever. Anyway, I got on my shortwave thing, and I don't think I called Glenn. There's a person called Andre who was working in the city doing stuff there. And Andre goes, buy that elephant right now. You go get that elephant. The reason I'm saying that is because Andre had a baby, or not a baby. Maybe he had got it when it was a baby, but it was I don't know if they call it a miniature hippo. There's a name for it. It only grows to be this big, but it looks exactly like a hippo. And they're only in Liberia. And he had one. That was his pet. And so he wanted me to get that elephant. And he says, take all the gold you have to. I had gold there. Go get that gold. Go get that elephant. Let's get that elephant. I said, okay, I can do that. Well, I don't have a car. I didn't even have a motorcycle at that time. I had a tractor. So I go out and I get on the tractor and I get some people with me, and oh God, how can I catch up with these people? If I got to try, I brought the gold with me. I'm going down the road, and somebody says to me, yeah, it's just sad what they did to the parents. I go, what are you talking about? I said, well, they kill the parents. That's how they get these elephants. They kill the parents, they kill the whole family. They just take their little babies because they can manage them, and then they sell them, right? Huh. Well, I certainly don't want to be part of that. Now, I'm already on the thing going towards this thing, and I just said, that's not going to happen. Well, at least I heard that, and I said, no, we're turning around right now. Let's go back, right? And I remember on the way back, somebody came out of the bush and said, help us. What was wrong? A rebel, is what they said, had just come in and shot their prize cow, or one of their cows, the only cow they had. And they said, can you please help us bring it back to the village? And I'm thinking somehow in my mind, well, I'm a vegetarian. I don't deal with animals and killing animals and all that stuff. I just stopped going after this elephant, right? So you don't understand, this is the food for our family for months or years, or who knows how long, a long time. And I just remember going, somehow in my mind, I wasn't supposed to do that. But luckily, I went, thing's dead. It's going to help these people out. You know, what are they going to let us sit there and rot? They can't move it. It's big. So we put it on the back thing. We brought it back with the tractor. And so that was a nice thing, and people loved that I did that, and I'm glad I did it. But I think of the way I thought of things in life, and that, that I shouldn't be doing that. I'm promoting killing animals. No, I'm not. Animals already dead. So anyway, I brought that back. I got a bunch more to tell you, but right now we'll have to call it quits and try it again.